what do you think about that clip, and what led to you to that moment, like standing up in front of everyone and asking those questions? And yeah, just being brave, because I think a lot of people wouldn't do that.
So I've seen, based on most of your clips, that I agree with most of your beliefs and stances on things. Besides
Israel.
No, there's one.
I guessed.
There's one topic that I disagree with your logic on. And I've seen when you debate other people on this topic, oftentimes they get kind of shoot off the mic. So I ask that you please give me a fair chance to debate. I believe that the breeding, exploitation, and killing of animals for food when we do not have to is immoral. And obviously you...
Did you lose a bet?
No. So again, I'm serious. I would ask for a fair chance at a debate without shooting me off the mic or making jokes, please.
What do you eat?
What do I eat? Like for protein?
Sure.
I eat tofu, nutritional yeast, seitan. I easily get over 200 grams of protein per day.
It's a lot of tofu to get 200 grams of protein, man.
That's not my, I have like about a pound a day. That's not my main source. That gives me about 40 a day. But I get 200 grams a day for lifting. In terms of actual health for humans, we do not need that much. We barely even need 100 grams a day, which is easily obtained through plants.
Okay, so what is your contention? That we should outlaw or make it harder to eat animal-based protein?
No, I'm not as much concerned about the legality of it, more so the morality.
Okay, so are human beings equal to cows?
I would put human beings above cows.
Okay, so what moral, I mean, we don't want to see animal cruelty, but what moral worth would you say a cow has?
I would say that a cow has worth in the sense that we should not, like any sentient animal, cause them suffering or kill them if we do not have to.
Right. So you don't eat fish either, I assume?
I don't eat any animal products at all.
No animal products. And no dairy?
No.
So full vegan?
Yes.
Wow. Okay. Do you know that there would actually be fewer cows if we didn't eat them?
I'm aware, yes.
So you would argue for less cows, not more cows, basically.
I am against the breeding, exploitation, and slaughter of them for food.
What obligations do we have to wild animals?
I mean, the animals that we eat are not wild animals. They're domesticated, and we specifically breed, control, and kill them. We control their whole life, so they're not really wild.
Should we stop other animals from being carnivores?
No, because those animals need to eat, like a lion needs to eat an antelope to survive. So in a survival situation, I believe it is okay to eat animals, but in the modern day, we do not. I believe that we were designed by God not needing to eat meat.
What scripture are you referencing?
Genesis 1:29.
Right, and it's, you mean the scripture says God gave dominion over the animals?
No, the one that says, I've given you every seed-bearing plant, fruit, and tree on this earth, and for you, that shall be meat.
Right, but again, just to continue a little further, to be clear, in the Noahic covenant, it does allow for animals.
I'm aware. So after the flood...
And just to be clear, doesn't the law give guidance on how to kill animals? Like how to kill animals in certain ways? The Bible is explicitly pro-meat eating, so much so that they would kill an animal as a sacrifice to God, or kill the fatted calf in celebration of something.
I mean, when Jesus came, he ended the sacrifice, the animal sacrifice. So, again, I think during that time, there was a lot more food shortage.
Well, hold on. Jesus ate fish. He fed the 5,000 with fish.
Yeah, so like I said.
And so, I don't understand. But Jesus didn't say, stop, don't eat the fish. They are sentient beings. He fed fish to people.
Like I said, in a survival situation where there's 5,000 people.
There was also bread.
So in a survival
situation. Hold on, Jesus is God. He could have been, here's a legume. Jesus is God. He could have said, here's an almond. He said, Jesus is God. He could have, here's a lentil. Yet Jesus said, here's fish. So who are you to question Jesus, who he fed the 5,000 with? He could have said, here's tofu.
Again, so the disciples brought him fish and bread. That was what he multiplied.
Yeah, the feeding of the 5,000, right?
But I think in this modern day, we do not need to eat meat to be healthy, have good performance, and survive, and therefore causing immense suffering to these beings that do feel pain and suffering is wrong.
So I know this might seem unrelated, but I would hope to say you're also pro-life, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. So you are consistent. When vegans are not pro-life, that is a...
Yeah, I'm overall conservative. I agree with you on pretty much everything besides this one issue.
But you would agree, though, animals are not humans.
Yes.
Okay, but you would say, if I eat a steak, am I doing something immoral?
I would say that if you eat a steak knowing that, and you didn't have to, and you chose to pay for an animal.
Yes, I plan to do this tonight, so tell me what. Tell me.
So, like I said, I think the breeding, exploitation, and killing of animals for food is immoral. Yes.
Immoral.
Yes.
But by what moral standard do you derive that from?
Well, are you against animal cruelty?
Of course I am. No one wants cruelty. In fact, the Bible is explicitly against animal cruelty. And so all of us should be. The animals actually made an appearance in the 10 Commandments. Animals got a Sabbath. They got a day off. It says, for 6 days you shall work and 1 day you shall rest, including your ox and your animal. So the Bible actually has done more for animal rights than any other ancient scripture that we can ever find. So I'm all there. No one wants animal cruelty. However, I just want to understand by what moral framework do you say it is immoral to eat the meat of something that is not human, especially if we get nutrients and we human beings are able to flourish?
Well, I would say, why are you against animal cruelty?
Well, first of all, no one wants to see something suffer unnecessarily. But if and when you are able to derive calories, nutrients, and I would also contest one of the other things, that I do believe we need animal-based protein. In fact, I think one of the main reasons, and maybe you're able to work it out, that young men are seeing such a dramatic drop in testosterone rates is the removal of animal-based proteins from diets, so young men especially, ages 10, 11, and 12, and replacement of a lot of these counterfeit soy-based, plant-based proteins.
So studies have found that with equal calorie and protein intake, there is zero difference between in testosterone levels between animal-based diet and...
Have you ever heard the term soy boy?
Yes, of course. I am a soy boy. Yes.
You are a soy boy.
In terms of that's what people call vegans. So yes, I am.
I didn't call you that. I was just said, have you ever heard of the term?
Yes,
okay.
I've heard of the term. Yeah, that's because.
Well, but again, I don't want to get too deep in the biology, but soy is inherently estrogenic, right?
So soy has phytoestrogens. They're not actual estrogens. They work in the body similar to a SERM, which is a selective estrogen receptor modulator. What that actually does, in some situations, that can actually lower estrogen in males if they have an estrogen imbalance, and
suppress testosterone production.
It does not suppress the testosterone production. Studies have found equal testosterone between meat eaters and vegans, considering calories and protein equal. In addition, many professional athletes.
The consumption of soy. The consumption of soy.
Yeah, I mean, most in order to
let's get down to one last question though. Just you agree that it is far more expensive to eat vegan than to eat animal-based protein? You have to go out.
It's about the same. Like a pound of when I before I went vegan, I'd have like 93% ground beef for like lean protein. That'd be like at Aldi, it was like $6. So now I eat seitan, which most people don't know because it's I just eat meat. But it has in 400 calories, it has 80 grams of protein, and it's only $5. So I mean, it's not that expensive to eat vegan.
So, but let me just ask you one last question on this, because almost everything you consume has to either manufactured or put together, where actually the way we're arguing to eat is far more of the earth and far more of whole foods. The vegans actually have to go out of their way to try and have different ingredients and compositions and oils that largely are far more human interference into the consumption of the food process, right? Which one is more of the earth, eating vegan or eating, let's just say, more paleo, not necessarily carnivore?
So I'll answer that. Then I have one question to ask back to you. In terms of the the food itself, I eat mostly pretty much just whole food vegan. Like sometimes I'll eat a vegan like Impossible Burger. That's not necessarily
No, no,
healthy.
no, no. Time out. Hold on. That is like the most manufactured.
I know
like,
that's not healthy. That's
no, no, not even healthy. Now you're proving my point. Like, let's just be clear. An Impossible Burger has like 50 ingredients that you cannot pronounce, and it is made in like a lab. Literally, it's like lab-grown meat, and versus a cow.
I understand. I'm not saying it's healthy, but
No,
at the
but
same time, a cheeseburger is not the staple of a healthy diet either. Like with cows.
If
So-
I had to choose like a double cheeseburger from Culver's or an Impossible Burger, it's a double cheeseburger every single day. That is better for you. Like, it's not even close.
What what do you think about that clip, and what led to you to that moment, like standing up in front of everyone and asking those questions? And yeah, just being brave, because I think a lot of people wouldn't do that.
Yeah, I mean, I feel confident what I believe, like all the way, and I'm not like afraid to say it. Um, I think that's like the main thing is I wasn't scared where it went because I knew I didn't really prepare that much for it. I just, um, I went vegan like 6 months ago, which maybe we'll get into like, but I was very, very logical and I done a lot of research when I first switched. And I saw that he was coming to U of I, and I just felt called to like I just had a feeling I was like, I want to see what he thinks about veganism because I love arguing veganism because it's impossible to argue against um logically. And so I was like, I know he debates people and stuff, and I know he's really conservative, and most conservatives are anti-vegan. So I did a little bit of research on like him arguing against other vegans, and I thought that um I could do a little better job than they did. Not that uh they did a bad job, but they made some mistakes that caused them to get like those videos are still up on his channel of him like arguing against those vegans, but he took mine down, right? So I saw things that uh mistakes that they made. Um so what I did then was I just went up and they had this little he did a little like 10-minute speech, and then he was like, all right, anyone want to come up, ask the question, come up. And I was kind of, oh, like already? Okay. So I just kind of went up. I felt like pretty a little anxious before I went up, but I'm kind of used to like being like that, like in the center stage in like a high pressure situation, an MMA fighter. So it's kind of like a similar vibe, where it's like a lot's on the line, you can get embarrassed. A lot of some people in the crowd want to see you fail. And but when I got up there, I just kind of like zoned in and locked in. And it was kind of like I felt like I was in a fight where once like the ref starts the fight, everything else kind of zones out, and it's just like you and your opponent. That's what I felt. I heard everyone like in the crowd like laughing and jeering at me and like mocking me, but I just like I didn't care because I felt so confident in what I believed, and I thought that they were all the ones who were ignorant and uninformed um and like I said, like I think like me, like being a fighter too makes me a little more like confident, stand up for myself because subconsciously I'm like I'm not scared really. If like someone want the crowd like if the crowd hates me, I'm like confident in myself in that aspect. Um, so I think like that's probably uh why I felt like the courage to do that. And it wasn't really that difficult for me to do so, honestly.
That's a great